All right, welcome back to the first team all-purpose podcast. We took a couple weeks off to rejuvenate, get right for the holidays, and we're back and better than ever as there are so much to talk about. JD, how are you feeling today before we get into the show, man?
Man, it's been a nice little 2 weeks. Ate good for Thanksgiving. How was your
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was great, yo. I was fronting. I'm not gonna hold you. I was talking all that talk. Remember that morning I went to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the gym and I got a great workout and I'm in the sauna talking all that talk like, I'm here. I was actually on the Stairmaster. I was like, I'm here because I'm about to eat right. Like I had to come burn some pre-calories before I ate all the calories. Man, I'm so washed, bro. I
two
ate
two
one plate
plates.
and was not even, I didn't make two, bro. Because me, like we're here, like we didn't eat till like 5, so I spent the whole day starving
Bro,
because waiting on family members from Crystal's side to get here and all this other stuff. So we didn't
bro.
eat till like
Why wifey's Dominican?
Dominican. So you know how that go, bro. Like everybody takes forever to get. So we eat at like
Yeah.
maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock ish, right after the Lions game, and I couldn't eat anymore. I was full, bro. I'm like, yeah, I'm really washed. Like I'm old, bro. Like I
But
don't got the same, hunger, the same, appetite.
dude, I was giving myself 3 plate minimum. I tapped out at 1.5, man. I tapped out at 1.5. But it's funny because you say like 5 p.m. for Dominicans are pretty early actually. Because
Bro,
I've been to
that's
I've been to somewhere it's 9 p.m., bro.
what's funny?
I was furious that
I
time,
gotta give
bro.
this to her. Crystal's sister, her name is
Hmm.
Keandre. She was actually like, wow. I think it was actually Katie. Katie was like, wow, this is the earliest we this is the earliest
Yes.
I've eaten. They were actually blown away that they were done and everyone was eating at that time because typically, like you said, it's almost bedtime when we eat in Dominican households. It's be crazy, bro. But I ate,
9 p.m.,
but
bro.
it was a really, really, really healthy plate, a really big plate. I bodied it, and I was like, yeah, I'll be good in about an hour. I couldn't even I could barely move. So it
Yo,
was done.
have you noticed this? And especially like as we get older, yo,
Mhm.
turkey itself is just overrated, man.
What is
That's a
turkey? Like, I don't even like turkey like that. I just realized.
I I swear growing up I used to love turkey. Now
I
it's just
think
like,
so
nah,
too.
give me a small little piece and put it to the
Yeah,
side. Like I
yeah.
want everything else.
Especially because when they feed it to you, it's really just like the white meat. It's
Hmm.
not the white meat, but like the inside of it. Like when you don't really. I mean, fried chicken, you could do all types of things with chicken. You could fry it, you could put glaze, all this other stuff on it. Turkey is just turkey. Like it's not all that good. I don't think it's all that good. I would rather have chicken on Thanksgiving, to be honest with you. But that's a conversation for another day. But it made me
Facts.
realize how washed I really am, bro. I was like, wow, I really talked all that talk about killing these plates and one plate, and I was done. I didn't touch the food till the next day, leftovers.
Yeah. And that's
But
when it's the best.
it's all good. Yo, Deion Sanders,
Hmm.
uh, NFL legend. I think Deion Sanders doesn't get talked about enough. When people talk about the greatest football player that's ever lived, and they bring up Tom Brady, and rightfully so, they bring up the Jim Browns and Joe Montana. I'm like, why? Like Lawrence Taylor. I'm like, why nobody ever bring up Deion? That's a conversation for another day. But I always I'm like the guy. There's no weakness in his game at all. But NFL legend, cornerback, right? And he was coaching at Jackson State University. He took the job at an HBCU.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe the most prominent name probably that's ever gone to an HBCU Division I college for either football or basketball. And he's turned that program around in 3 years. Like they went
Yeah.
from a team that we didn't know probably existed to one of the powerhouses in the HBCU circuit, as well
Hmm.
as the NCAA with all the attention he's brought there. But he recently left um, to take a job at Colorado. Right now, before I get into all the context of the deal,
Hmm.
I'm just going to keep the layers on right now. He left, and he's been getting a lot of backlash
Yes.
for leaving. People are calling him a sellout. People are saying he's turning his back on HBCUs, aka Black folk, or Black colleges in general. And your reaction to that is what?
I never want to stop someone from a let's say, a vertical process in their career, right? When you're starting out from a certain aspect in your career to getting a bigger and better job. And this topic is very nuanced, right? We complain about all the time about Black coaches not really getting a fair shot and getting better jobs. And the Colorado job is a better job. But breaking down the layers, I think the biggest issue wasn't the fact that he left and he was only there for 2 years. I think is what he sold to, historically Black colleges and universities as a whole. Okay. I remember him going on the Pivot podcast and he made a specific comment where he was like, we have to get our kids. And when he say our kids, he's talking about Black kids to believe in these type of schools and universities. So then for after 2 seasons, you up and leave for a school like Colorado. I'm just shocked that people are shocked that other people are upset. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not the fact that he left and got a different job. I think it was the messaging behind it of, I'm coming to Jackson State. This is what I want to do. I want to put all eyes on us. I want, all the best recruits to go there. I want our kids to attend these type of universities where I'm going to shine a light on your game and you're still going to get drafted, even though it's a historically Black college or university. I think that's where the backlash is really coming from.
Okay. My initial response was very similar to that. As you know, we've kept a great communication, me and you, Janelle, and even a whole Designated Report fantasy group chat. Shout outs to that group chat, the greatest group chat fantasy football in the world. But when I think back on it, now that you say that, because I know this sounds exactly like what Bomani explained on CNN, Bomani Jones. And, what comes to mind is I don't think that Deion was, not sincere when he's saying I'm here to be, an anchor or a vessel to the HBCU movement to make sure this. I think, in the words of the deadbeat father from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it just happened. I think it just happened. I don't think Deion had this eye out, planning to leave in a certain amount of years. I think it came along and Deion's like, that's a great opportunity, right? And, going back to a couple months ago, he did an interview on 60 Minutes and they asked him, Deion, what you're building here is huge, right? And you're like, you brought Jackson State from an unknown, school to many to now their first undefeated season in school history. Schools are going to at some point come along. And we started hearing the rumors about Auburn, about other schools. And Deion, the guy straight up asked Deion what happens when a Power 5 school comes and says, yo, just name the number. Like, name the number. We want you at our school. He said, I would have to consider it. So I don't think he was dishonest at all in this entire process. I just think it happened how it happened, and he took the opportunity.
If that Power 5 school came to him at year 2, wouldn't they also come to him at year 5? I'm saying so you can sow your roots even more, because the thing about it, and people are saying, okay, yeah, but, he's leaving, he's getting paid more. Listen, this is not a regular Joe Schmo that went from high school to college that worked his way up. This man made millions from the NFL, millions from Nike, millions from CBS when he worked as an analyst there, million from his hit TV shows, millions from inside the NFL for HBO. Deion's been getting checks. So that whole notion of, he was only making $1 million here to $6 million, he's good. Right. And I don't want to pocket watch because who am I to tell someone to, turn down $5 million? But let's be real. It's not like he's starting out from a smaller school or smaller town where he built his name in the coaching ranks and he finally got the job. Look at the guy from, was it, in March Madness, he just took a bigger job. He was the head coach of Manhattan. Remember, he was the head coach of Manhattan, and I think he just got was it Villanova job or some job?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think so.
So Manhattan I think they made like either the Elite 8 or the Final 4, but he was up through the ranks. And now when that job called, he went to that team, but that's the years of him working as a coach. But Deion's been good on the money tip for a long time. So if those schools were going to come after year 2, they were still going to be there after year 5. Another point, name 2 or 3 players that like got the spotlight aside from Deion Sanders' son in that school. They're saying all the light that he shined on Jackson State. All the line was shined on Deion, bro. It wasn't shined on the school really, or even like the
Don't do
players.
that. Don't. That's not fair. That's not fair. But that's how it works, G. You got to be. Someone has to be the one
But
to
we know
bring
his
that
son
light.
though. But we know
But
his son.
you say what?
But we know his son.
Yes, but we also know Travis Hunter. We also know the other guys who are going to be considered to be potential draft picks. I don't think it's. I know what you're saying. Like Deion is getting the attention, but that's the only way he could bring attention is by being in the middle of it. Like if Deion, like this is why people are upset. Deion's going to leave, and the attention is going to leave with Deion. So someone has to be the center of that attention, whether good or bad.
But what about some parents who said, you sat down in my living room and my son could have probably went to like USC, but you sat down and told us how it was important.
That's any coach who leaves, bro. That's any coach who leaves. What's the difference between that and Brian Kelly or Lane Kiffin or Nick Saban?
Yeah, but those guys stay in their teams longer than a year or two.
Because they don't have to leave. Those guys are college, they're standstills. They could.
But Sean, their selling point was different though. That's the whole point I'm trying to say. Their selling point is, yeah, come to USC or whatever, where we'll build you up to get drafted, take care of your family. Deion Sanders was like, yo, us blacks, we got to stick together. We have to build up our own programs. This is how you do it. I'm going to be the coach. This is what it represents to, have that pride of being a black guy and really building our programs when these other schools don't care about us. So that's the reason why people are upset is the way that he sold it.
But it was, I believe it was real. Gene, again, the opportunity comes along. Like, I'm very indifferent about it because, again, I would love for Deion to be at JCSU or for Jackson State for 10 years.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Like, listen, I'm not mad at a vertical integration into your job, like, or, climbing up the ranks. But other people need to realize why some people are in their feelings about his decision.
Yes. And I think it's at the end of the day, a lot of people are just venting that Deion left because of their personal agendas. Like they wanted him to stay, as opposed to I don't think those people would pass up $6 million from $300,000.
No, hell no.
In which he was donating half of his check back to the school to build the facilities and make things better, pay his coaches and all that stuff. So Deion was walking away with less than $200,000 a year in those 3 years. And yes, he's not broke or had no struggles for money, but understand this also, like Deion going to a Power 5 school, a bigger school in Colorado, he's taking his son with him. Like maybe on a personal level, that gives his son a better chance, a better route to the NFL. If he could, perform well on that stage, maybe that gives him a better shot to get to the NFL. I don't know. Maybe all that factors in. Who knows?
Do you think people would be upset if it were FSU or a Miami job he took? I think it probably has more to do with the location of it being Colorado of all places. You don't think so? That has to be a factor, right?
Yeah, I think we think Colorado, we think white people. We think he's leaving black kids for white kids. That's what people are thinking. Let's keep it a buck. And I'm annoyed that it's Colorado because I wish it was I wanted a school with swag, man.
I wanted Miami, right? Bring back
I wanted Auburn. I wanted Florida State. I wanted one of those SEC schools, not Clemson's never going to be vacated with Dabble, but like one of those schools, Tennessee.
Yeah.
They have a really good situation. I wanted one of those schools where, the ACC schools as well, Miami, maybe Miami job opens up. He brings the U back to glory. Could you imagine that? Like,
I know.
He brings the U back. Like, come on, that'd be fantastic. It's just like Colorado, like, bruh, Cordell Stewart is the last guy we could think about when we think about Colorado. What are you doing there? But it's one of those situations for Deion. It's almost like a win-win because Colorado's 1-11. They suck. They haven't been good in a long time. If he goes and turns that around, it's like,
hey, but credit to Colorado because I heard that this is their third straight black head coach that they've hired in a row.
Yeah, they've just been trying to
look that up.
They're just trying to get better. They're not worried about black or white. They're actually trying to get better and trying to keep it very much, open to anybody, whatever you look like. So I think I don't know, man. It's interesting. I think there's a lot that's going to be leaked, as we saw some rumors are coming out about what was going on really at Jackson State. I think a lot of things are going to be leaked. That's going to give us more context. Maybe Deion comes out straight and speaks his truth. But again, at first I was annoyed. I'm still annoyed. But I understand why Deion did it, because I think Deion just he wants to grow up the ranks. I think he wants to be on that Nick Saban level.
Listen, he's ever since high school and college, he's always wanted to level up.
Right.
That's who he is.
Right. Yeah. I get it. I get why people are annoyed. All right. We're gonna move on to baseball. Your prediction remained true, although I don't know if it's for that reason. Aaron Judge, you said Aaron Judge would stay with the Yankees. I said he was going to sign with the Giants. John Heyman, who is like public enemy number one right now in San Francisco, he better never go to the Bay, because they might really, people in the Bay might really be on site with John Heyman. He was on Twitter yesterday reporting that Arson, aka Aaron, Aaron Judge seemed like he was about to sign with the Giants, and Twitter went crazy. And, I started sending light bulbs because I thought my prediction was correct. But the Yankees.
Oh, you couldn't wait. You be having the light bulbs on deck. This dude be having the light bulbs on deck, bro.
Yo, I really do believe.
Yo, you be finding tweets from 7 years ago. I'm like, yo, this dude he's an animal, son.
Yo,
10 years ago, he said, see, I told you Joe Biden was going to be the president 15 years ago.
You stupid. I really feel like Aaron Judge was going to sign with the Giants. And I think Heyman putting that out kind of like let the Yankees know, yo, we really might lose this guy. And from what I read on the reports, the Yankees got on the phone and said, do you want to be a Yankee? And he was like, yes. And they said, what do we need to do? He said, I need an extra year, from the 8 years, which the Yankees were only offering, to the 9 years that San Fran and even San Diego at the last minute were trying to offer. Do you think Judge back in New York is, good deal for both? 8 years, 9 years, $360 million, both financially and both as far as like productive and projecting if that contract will live up to itself?
Of course it'll live up to itself. I mean, look how much money. I know for a fact that the Yankees made millions off his chase for the 61 home runs. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like people need to understand, whatever money athletes get, the owners have 50 times more back. All right, they're not hurting. And I actually heard how Steinbrenner called him and said 320, and Judge was like, nah, if I'm staying, it has to be at least 360. So I don't even know if it was the years, but that was his number from the get, 360, Well,
the 360 means that it needed to go up an extra year, because if it was 360 at 8 years, the AAV, which is the annual salary, would have been like 60 million. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right now it's 40. So it would have been way higher. And the Yankees were like, all right, we'll go the extra year to make the 360 work.
Yeah. I mean, look, I had no reservations that he was going to lead the Yankees, because one, you don't have that type of season that you just had where you broke all these records. And I mean, your team was good enough to make the postseason. And on top of that, like, you're the face of the franchise. Like, from those factors alone, I knew he was going to re-sign. And to me, it is a good deal because he is the face of the franchise. He'll drive people to the stands. I mean, if they don't win, they don't win. But in terms of getting that money back, he's going to generate that and more. And now that you're locking him to damn near a decade, wait till he starts approaching, the 500 home run club, 6, potentially 7 if he stays healthy and productive. So it's a win-win for Yankees and Aaron Judge. That's one player that it would have looked weird in a different uniform. I'm not going to front.
I heard they're going to name him captain now that he's going to be here long term. But
what the hell does that mean?
Well, the Yankees don't really name captains. It's Derek Jeter was the last captain. It's a big deal in Yankee land. Maybe not across baseball. Man. What you mean, bro? Only
captain of the Yankees. What the hell does that mean?
That's a huge deal. That's like being a captain on the Dallas Cowboys. Like,
man, that's like saying the Queen of England still has power, bro. It don't mean nothing, bro.
Y'all, you stupid.
Come on, bro.
I think for bro, they haven't had one since Derek Jeter for a reason. They don't name anyone captain. Like it has to be franchise, cornerstone, face, and someone that represents them both, quote unquote, on and off the diamond. So I mean, I'm to judge. Maybe it don't. I don't think it matters to me, but to Yankee fans in the Yankee lore, that's a huge thing. But what I'm thinking is, I'm very indifferent about this too. I wanted him to leave so that I can clown the Yankees, but I also think him staying benefits my team in a way, because if he left, I feel like Yankees are going to go splurging crazy. Like they were going to sign our guys, Brandon Nimmo. They're probably going to sign Rodon, the starting pitcher. Now that they signed Judge, it's almost like they don't have to do as much because their team, like you said, they were just in the ALCS. Yes, they got smacked by the Astros, but you fine tune, bring a couple guys in here, you get some couple guys out. We're right back in the hunt with the best player in the American League, or unless you think Otani's better. But I'm thinking like when these contracts were so long, bro, like who's the last guy that lived up to a 9-10 year? It never happens almost. So but the Yankees are going to make money, but are they going to they're about winning championships in pinstripes?
Sports is about bread. They throw this thing out there like, yeah, we want to win championships. How many professional sports team in the world, and of course, obviously Yankees are included, that actually go into the season prepared to do whatever it takes to win a championship? There's only a handful of teams. He's going to outperform the contract based on the money terms. And in 9 years, if they happen to get, a World Series.
But he's not going to hit 60 home runs, probably again.
You don't have to, though. It's a numbers game.
So what would need to be his averages on a year-to-year basis for you to say, all right, this works?
40 and 100 something RBIs a year.
What about batting average?
Like 315-ish.
That's hard.
Bro, Hank Aaron.
He didn't hit 315 this year.
Yo, Hank Aaron never hit over, what was the most he ever hit in a season? Like 40. And he was the all-time home run king for years. Like Aaron Judge can just be steady, man. If they protect him in the lineup, he should be fine, man. In the blink of an eye, it's gonna be 9 years, man. I'm telling you.
You know what?
He'll live up to that contract.
What sucks is I like Aaron Judge as a person. I like who he is. Like he's a good dude. I like him, but I hate the Yankees, man.
He need to put some Tabasco on his hot sauce, man. He need to put some Tabasco on his food, bro.
Bro, he got to tie. Aaron Judge, if you're watching, you got to stop tying your sneakers so tight and up. I watched him at the other day at the
Bucks game.
Bro, he had them joints. I think he had the 13.
13s.
Bro, they were tied all the way up. I'm like, Judge, what do you? This brother.
Dude, he be looking like the undercover cops that be on
the subway.
Be like, anybody selling Metros?
Yo, Judge, you have to.
And he's a cop.
Hook him up with Keisha, bro.
Word. Yeah, Keisha. Yeah,
she'll get him right. She'll style him.
Yeah.
We need a stylist, Judge. We're gonna get you a stylist.
I gotta send her one of his pics. Like, yo, you need to help this brother out, please.
Keisha, you have to help Aaron Judge dress better. There's no way he's the biggest star in New York right now, and for him to be dressing like that. Okay, so Judge, please get right. But I don't know, man. I like Judge, but I hate the Yankees with a passion. So I hope he does just well enough, but just not too well so that they don't win any championships. So I can continue to bask in my Yankees hate. All right, yo, before we tap out, Lamar Jackson, man, your guy, your preseason MVP pick, he got hurt during the first quarter in the Ravens game on Sunday. He went down on a knee. They're saying it's like a sprained PCL in his knee or something, and he is week to week, but more so on a 1 to 3 week injury.
Yeah.
Now Lamar is in a walk year, right? He's in the last year of his contract. Him and the Ravens did not agree on a contract extension before the season, and we talked about this all offseason. Like, this is a risk. This is a risk. This is a risk. Now the injury is not brutal. It's not terrible. Where it could have been worse. It could have been an ACL torn. It could have been an Achilles or something like that. But I saw. I think his name is Robinson, the guy that works at NFL Network. Michael Robinson said, he would not step back on that field for the Ravens until his his bank account was looking different. Do you agree, or do you think Lamar just kind of he gotta think this out at this point?
It's not the problem. It's not the issue if he's going to get paid. Their issue just comes from the guaranteed money.
Right.
Right. And you know how Rudy Gobert set the whole NBA ablaze with that trade and it messed up everyone's trade value? Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray did that for the NFL. No, I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson.
And Kyler.
Not Kyler too. Kyler got paid, bro.
He did get paid, but Deshaun got paid. The bag. Deshaun right? And Mahomes were the bags that were like, whoa.
But Mahomes, he's his own guy. Like no one's looking at he's the outlier in the group. Like he should have probably got 800 mil, you know. But is the issue that they're having? I'm hearing anywhere between $50 million separate in like a guaranteed contract.
That's a big, you know.
So I think what's going to save Lamar in terms of, I mean, he is going to get a contract. I don't know if he's going to get the money he wants. It all depends on how they perform in the playoffs, man. What are they? 8-3? No, 8-4, right?
8-4, yeah.
So they're 8-4. All 4 losses, they had significant leads against the Giants, against the Bills, against the Dolphins, and it was another team. I think like Jacksonville or something like that. They all had leads. So this is a team that can literally have the Eagles or should have the Eagles record, but they faulted, right? And no fault of Lamar. But the bigger picture, and I tweeted this before, it's like Baltimore Ravens are kind of playing this like game with him, right? Like, for example, Eagles went out and got A.J. Brown to help Jalen Hurts. Who did the Ravens get? Deshaun Jackson. So it's like, purposely trying to sabotage this man. So now when he's negotiating, you can pull up some metrics and be like, listen, you know, you're a franchise quarterback, but just the way that you've been producing the last 2 years, we don't feel comfortable giving you all this guaranteed money because it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, let's see what he can really do with some talent around him because he's pretty much the whole offense anyway. He's the number 1 running back. He can probably play wide receiver if you ask him. Yeah. But I don't know if I would go as far as saying don't step out into the field until you get paid, but this is going to be the make or break playoff push if they make it into the playoffs, if he gets the bread that he wants.
Now, flip side, right? We know the Ravens will not let Lamar walk. They're going to franchise tag him at the very least if they cannot come to an agreement. If you're Lamar, isn't it better to just get away from Baltimore? Like, for several reasons. One, the front office has been playing games with you for 2 to 3 years now. Not just on a financial standpoint, but just the lack of talent as far as like receivers on that team. They have a great tight end, one of the best in the league. But the receiving position, their best receiver has been Marquise Brown, who, you know, a lot of people think is maybe a 2 at best in the NFL. Do you?
3.
You said 3? Sheesh.
Yeah. No, so, he's not number 2.
What? Like, if I'm Lamar, I'm looking at the Jets. I'm like, I'd rather walk and go be the Jets quarterback. Or if the Giants don't want Daniel Jones, not to say like they have better weapons, but just like the Giants seem like a team that's willing with this new ownership and this new GM, this new GM to do what it takes to put guys on the field. They're trying to go get the OBJs. They're trying to, you know, find ways to make trades for guys to improve the roster. Looking at teams around the league, like, I'd rather go in those situations, right? Even like, let's say the Colts. Like, I'd rather, instead of Baltimore, who has shown me over and over that the best guy they can get me is what you're saying is a 3 receiver. And at that, they trade him and they keep me with Sammy Watkins and Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Jackson. So I'd rather
Des Bryant. Yo, the man.
Don't do that.
So hold on. His backfield consists of Kenyon Drake, Gus Edward, who's always hurt.
And it was like J.K. Dobbins, who's literally always
hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're not fielding a great team around this guy, and his winning percentage is still crazy.
Yeah.
You know, close to like 50 wins and like 20 losses or 22 losses. Is it ridiculous? So like, get him the weapons, man.
Lamar and the Jets would be tough.
Oh, come on. I mean,
that's a super team.
Dude, of course we are. Team. Have you actually seen the Jets play?
I do, bro. I watched the Jets.
We're close. We're literally this close. Like, maybe one.
The 2 Patriot games you shouldn't have lost. You should have won both games.
And that Vikings game.
The Vikings game. You were down 17 early.
Fam, we was in the goal line. Down by 5 on the goal line.
I know.
At the 1.
Yeah. And y'all didn't score.
You know? We didn't score. But like, we're literally one or two pieces from really being a contender. And this year is wide open still.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This reminds me of that Jets team from the Rex Ryan, the first Rex
The
Ryan
first
year.
year. Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to be here, really. You know, you got the young quarterback, Mark Sanchez was a rookie. And, you know, you just caught lightning in a bottle. You have the same, it's very similar defense. Like that defense is tough, bro.
Sauce
So it's
Gardner
like,
is the truth.
he's the truth. He's the truth. Keenan Williams is living up to that, you know, top 6 pick. He's probably going to be in the conversation, honestly, for Defensive Player of the Year. He's been that freaking good. DJ Reed on the opposite side of Sauce Gardner has been fantastic. You know, Quan Alexander, who you guys picked up in the offseason, has been great.
Yeah.
And CJ Mosley has been
CJ Mosley, yeah,
arguably the best linebacker in football, you know, in the AFC this year. That team is ready with you know, strong quarterback play. Y'all can make a run and beat anybody in that conference.
But going back to your point, like I want Lamar, even if he doesn't come to my Jets, but like I'd want him to be like on a team that actually try to fill weapons around him. Because look at every young quarterback, man. Jalen Hurts has weapons.
Right, the Niners.
The Niners.
I would take him. I would take Lamar with Jimmy walking. You know, Trey Lance. It's early. It doesn't look like the guy, even though it's early. He's hurt. I'm taking Lamar Jackson and figuring it out later with that team, right? Like so. Baltimore. I mean, again, they're not going to let him walk unless like a team, you know, they tag him and the team was like, "Yo, we'll trade you a bunch of first-round picks to get him." And if a team will do that, it would be the Niners, who have proven that they don't care about draft picks.
Or the Rams.
Or the Rams. I mean, the Rams, they have Stafford, so I'm thinking maybe they don't go for that flyer. But the Niners, like, they traded like 3 to get Trey Lance to move up to draft him. So maybe that's a team that could be like, yo, this is our missing guy. Like, we have the receivers. They got the dogs at receiver. They have the running back now. They got the defense. They're literally a quarterback away. The Niners are a quarterback away from beating absolutely anybody in the world right now.
That's facts. And it all depends on the QB play.
All right. So we'll see. Quick question before we sign off. If you had to guess the company that Kyrie Irving will be rocking his shoe with next, what would you say? Or do you think he stays independent?
Well, this season is a wash. The thing about Kyrie, though, he moves units.
Bro, I saw that in the tweet when Shams, and we talked about it too, when Shams he was like, Kyrie had like one of the most moved units in all of Nike.
You know why? Because of the price point. It was like he cornered that price point of being about 110 or less. And first of all, the basketball shoes are phenomenal.
I was gonna say, I actually like them too, even on a stylish basis. Like I like them.
Like ball kicks, like they're one of the best consistent lines that he's had. And I saw something I think is, aside from MJ, I think MJ, Bron, and Kyrie was like literally right there. And like the next guy behind him was far. Like Kyrie was moving a lot of units, you know, so it sucks that we won't see. And his new ones were fire, man. The Kyrie, whatever, 8s or 9s.
Yeah.
Jesus, I hope Nike still releases it. I don't know, maybe if they're just going to go ahead with that plan and just like take his name off of it. But those were fire. If I was to pick, I'd probably say like New Balance.
I thought about that with the whole, they have Kawhi.
Yeah, they're not touching Adidas because the whole Kanye thing. And then, you know, Kyrie and Kanye was linked.
Yes, because think about that.
Think about it, right? So Adidas is like, no.
Think about that. What about Reebok?
Reebok, I don't think Kyrie would go to Reebok. I think Kyrie would go to a spot like New Balance, which is like, is made in America. And they have guys like Kawhi. I think they have Jaylen Brown. And a few others.
Do they? Or they got the kid from Darius Baisley, the kid from OKC.
But he's not. They have a lot of rosters. They have a lot on their roster. But like, if a China brand was to pursue him, they'd pay him, bro.
Like
if they have fire,
or maybe Dwayne Wade.
When
we got the bag, you think he got the bag for Kai?
Of course he does, because he has D'Angelo Russell. Right. So the way that it works when these guys, so Bron, Jordan, Wade, they're under like Nike or the Chinese brand or whatever. But when they sign people under their brand, they pay them out of their pocket. So everyone under Jordan brand gets paid from Jordan himself.
Right.
It's not from Nike. So Bron is not going to do it because he's Nike. But if Wade wanted to be like, yo, I want to make you the signature athlete of Lightning. Yeah, he'll give it to him crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And for Wade to have his own subset already, that means Wade moves crazy units in Asia.
You know he does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So interested to see what Kyrie does and seeing how the Lamar Jackson stuff unfolds. We'll definitely tap back in soon. Hopefully by that time my guy OBJ is on the team. I didn't want to get into that today because I know you're tired of it. You tired of it?
No, I'm not tired of it. I just don't want my man's going to some team. I'm like, I don't want him to chase a team, especially if he ain't right. And I'm like, you're still a young guy. I take the rest of the year off, really get healthy, and then let y'all fight over me in the offseason.
Because you know what's crazy? That's a good point when you said that yesterday, because I was looking it up. When Randy Moss went to the Raiders, when he went to the Patriots, he was 30.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't 25 or 20,
yeah,
30. Odell's 30 now, albeit Odell has suffered a couple serious injuries. But like you say, if you just take the time to just make sure you're back to 100%, you could have the whole other career of another 6, years of just productive dominance if you're still able to perform at that level.
Or think about it like this, right? If I was him, I'd play it like this. I'm going to sit out. I'm going to let Cowboys and the Bills fail because of them not having an extra wide receiver that they need. And then the offseason, now the price starts here now.
Yeah.
Right? Because if Dallas Cowboys still had Amari Cooper, they'll be a different team right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? So Dallas needs that second. So you know what, Dallas? I'll let you go into the postseason. You're probably going to fail because you guys you can tie your damn shoes in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And then now come back to me, or Bills come back to me, and this is where the starting point is. And I'm 6 months healthier than I was when y'all gave me that. That's what I would do.
That's facts.
So,
true. All right. Well, There you have it. We're back. First Team All Purpose. Please let us know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that other good stuff. In the words of the greatest Stuart Scott, holla at a player when you see him in the streets. Till next time. Deuces.